Hi cats and kittens, welcome to JanieRock Tries Diets. If you haven't been here before, I try a diet a week, every week for the next year to see what diets may help people like me who've been heavy their whole lives. Today we're talking about the Dr. Ozs Total Choice Plan and how it's going for me so far. So come on in. I gotta tell you guys, for a plan that's based on comfort food, I really don't think they've hit the mark. In fact, I find quinoa in my mac and cheese a little disquieting. I'm not digging it. The thing is that the Dr. Ozs Total Choice Plan is all based on super healthy versions of comfort foods, but really what you get are recipes that don't taste all that great. And the things you're left with that are pretty basic and don't have a lot of, bells and quinoa are, there's not much choice. They've tried to simplify the recipes so that your grocery trip is pretty easy, but what they've done is they've left you with not a whole lot of selection. Like I said, I was kind of mocking in my last video just how many English muffins and bananas are involved in this, but there's also a lot of peanut butter, a lot of sugar-free marinara sauce, salads with the same kind of vegetables over and over again. I do like the breakfast smoothie. It was delicious, and I think I'm losing weight. I purposefully haven't weighed since my first day. Actually weighed the next day after I started, and there was a little bit of a loss, but I'm not gonna weigh again until the beginning of my next diet, which is Wednesday morning. And stay tuned for more details on that, because I still don't know. Week to week I can never decide which diets I'm gonna do and which diets I'm not gonna do. So the Dr. Oz plan is going okay. I really wish there was more variety to this plan, but we'll see what happens. So today I want to talk about health issues as they relate to obesity. I had a down day a couple of days ago because my stomach is really upset, and that could be a diabetes related complication called gastroparesis. It's something I'm getting checked out soon, but I think that may be the case. And I started sort of second guessing the entire project here and whether I'm doing more damage to my health than good, because the first couple of days on this Dr. Oz eating plan, my fasting blood sugars were quite a bit higher than usual. And they coincided with the beginning of this diet, which I've been picking the carb heavier selections just because they taste better. Probably not the smartest thing. So I had a down day. I was feeling pretty miserable about the whole gastroparesis thing because there's no cure for it. It's just something that you either have to live with. There's a surgical procedure that is hit and miss. So I don't know, it's just tough being this heavy and dealing with conflicting messages about how much being obese really hurts your health, how much it doesn't hurt your health. The health at every size movement, really is about being body positive, and I really want to believe that there's a complete separation between believing in the medical science that says that being heavy and complications like, diabetes and things like that are killing people who are heavy, and believing in body positivity, because I feel like there's this attitude that either you believe in one or believe in the other, and that's just not the case. My perspective on living with health issues that are related to obesity is that I have an unfortunate condition. Just like anyone who happens to be born with a disease or acquire a disease, I have an unfortunate condition, and obesity really does correlate strongly with diabetes. It does correlate strongly with heart disease. I've had off the charts high triglycerides since I was a child, and there are lots of complications that go along just with high triglycerides. I just found out recently when I had a CT scan incidental to that I'm starting to accumulate calcium in my aortic valve. And I'm only 40 years old. That's a condition you don't normally see until someone's in their 60s. So it's really disheartening to feel like you have to pick a side between body positivity and saying, hey, we really have to be careful because this thing that we've, been saddled with, obesity as a lifelong condition, causes these, terrible health conditions. And so we really need to take steps to rectify that. And often the steps to try to rectify that lead to weight loss. The sad thing is that weight loss doesn't stick in heavy people. Statistically, it just doesn't stick. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing this series of videos. I'm trying to find a way of eating, which a way of eating is something tangible that we can control. Something that, we can actually lay our hands on and not this, these intangible concepts that are usually thrown at us like willpower. What is willpower? It's so ephemeral. It's just, hanging in the air, waiting to just clobber us like, oh, well, you're just lacking in self-control. And no, that's not what this is. It is not that simple. And so if I can find a way of eating that works for people like me who've been heavy their whole lives, maybe that's one step closer to controlling what happens to our bodies, very unfortunately, when we've been heavy our whole lives. I have a lot of problems with my health. And at 40 years old, I don't feel great. In fact, I feel pretty bad. And the thing is like most people in my generation, I waited a lot longer to have kids. And so I have young kids who need a lot of physical activity, and they need their mom to be able to keep up with that. And I used to kind of mock people who are like, oh, I just want to be able to keep up with my children. But now that I have a 7-year-old and a 3.5-year-old, that is a thing. It is a thing. Just taking my son in and out of the car seat sometimes, I'm so winded, I can barely think to drive. The older I get, the worse it gets. And I think a lot of the people who are just like, oh, well, my blood work is perfect and, my blood pressure is perfect and all that, are 30. This creeps up on you slowly over time, and then you get hit with the big fat reality stick when you're 40. And your blood pressure is astronomical, and your blood sugar numbers are starting to be off, and your cholesterol is starting to raise, and that metabolic syndrome starts creeping up on you. Now, there is a group of statistical outliers, and actually there was just a recent study, University of Washington in St. Louis, who found that there are heavy people who are naturally protected from metabolic disease. And that is fantastic news. So there are some of you out there who can be heavy your whole lives and never see any negative metabolic result of that. But unless you're one of those people, you may be one of the 80 to 90% of type 2 diabetics who are overweight or obese. And those are the facts. And I was told once to think about blood sugar as shards of glass going through your system, because that's effectively what it does to your organs, the high blood sugar. And there's polycystic ovarian disease associated with metabolic syndrome and obesity. There's heart disease, high blood pressure. There are certain obese people who are more prone to gallbladder disease, and that was me. I have a fatty liver, I have an enlarged spleen, and I'm told that all of it is because of my off-the-charts triglycerides that are familial. My dad's entire family, all of his brothers and sisters, and just recently my Aunt Nancy, have died of heart valve disease after having had heart attacks and open heart surgeries. My dad has a artificial mitral valve. So, I talked about the ghost of Christmas future, and I'm really worried about that. So, gastroparesis is a real thing that I'm kind of staring down. It if my symptoms get much worse, I may have to sort of suspend what I'm doing here and go on a gastroparesis friendly diet, which is, you know, just eating a lot of low residue foods, not much fiber, not many fruits and vegetables, that sort of thing, which is a real bummer because I love what I'm doing here with you guys. But for the next few days, I'm gonna stick with the magical land of Dr. Oz, and I'm gonna finish out the Total Choice Plan, English Muffin Fest and all. So I'll see you guys on Thursday when we start a new diet, and I'll give you the complete rundown on the Dr. Oz Total Choice Plan. Hey, if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys soon.